Hi there, it's me, Talasam. I want to bring up my point of view on a bit of a controversial debate, PC versus console. And before I go any further, I want to mention that I own both a current gen console and a very capable gaming PC. The first thing everyone brings in the price of a performance connection between both, meaning the console are really what you really paid for. And if you want superior graphics and like in performance, you need to dump significant amount of cash for a good gaming PC. And to an extent, that was more true toward the end of the last generation, 8 years life cycle of Xbox 360 and PS3 consoles, where they really showed aged graphics and bottlenecked the whole game development industry to a console level. However, this console generation is capable of 1080p Full HD, 60 FPS most of the time, and somewhat 4K and 30 FPS with a lot of tricks involved, including dynamic resolution downscaling just to maintain stable frame per second. PC Build, on the other hand, for the same amount of money, most of the time matches the same experience if it's well optimized by the game developers. Another thing to take into account is the price of operation system for PC. As Windows usually cost you about like a 2.5 years of online console subscription, so um, he it's more or less you waste the same amount of money outside of your hardware for both. So here I'll put aside the scalability of the PC and the option to get better graphics and performance the more you invest in your PC hardware. The truth is, you reach diminishing return for your money around like twice the price of a console. So if you spend more than like price of a two console for a PC, more or less you're wasting your money because at that point you up to that point you'll be getting a lot of performance, but after that it's going to be very little for what you pay for, generally speaking. As a conclusion, the price to performance ratio for the same amount of money, you get about the same gaming experience, and it's not as big of a deciding factor, in my opinion. Another point people bring into the debate: play in whichever platform your friends play on. This is a very strong argument and trumps everything else I have to say about it. If you have a close friend or group of friends playing on the same platform, you could care less what everyone has to say about it. Period. I mean, obviously, you play for fun. If what I said above, it's not a factor, it's all about them games. I personally think exclusive for each platform should not sway you either direction, but that's really personal opinion. If you like God of War, StarCraft, or Mario, I cannot change your mind. Generally, game genre you like can easily define your choice of platform. So MMO games, MOBAs, and strategy games are almost exclusively on PC, and if that's what you like, you have no reason to even consider a console. Obviously, the next game genre, the shooting games, can easily define your choice of platform. Probably is the biggest game genre that defines your choice. It's the shooter game genre. Um, there are few big shooter games like Call of Duty, Battlefield, Halo, Overwatch, Titanfall, and Counter Strike Global Offensive. So Titanfall it's equally well made for PC and a console, and provide a similar experience. So it's out of the decision in my opinion. Halo it's Xbox exclusive, and even used to be that behemoth game with a huge player base. Now won't make any people buy Xbox. Very few, like to say, but it's not selling Xboxes anymore. Uh, Counter Strike CS:GO. It's currently the biggest PC exclusive shooter with a huge player base, and it's very competitive. If you have never played Counter Strike before, don't even think about it. My personal opinion, it's not very friendly for new players because it takes a lot of skills and you get a little toxicity at the very beginning if you wanna start like playing Counter Strike. If you don't know everything and you're not distant enough, really you'll have a hard time just getting into them. This game caters to the original CS OG gamers that have played every single game of the series, and it is a good game. However, it's not very friendly for new player. So the last three shooters are the one that definitely sway more people into either of the platforms of choice. Call of Duty. Call of Duty used to be the go-to shooter, but that changed in the last 2-3 years. It is heavily focused on the console player base and neglects the PC platform. The good thing about it is, regardless how mediocre is the gamepad for aiming, Call of Duty perfected the controls. This makes it very easy for new players to get into the game and enjoy that arcade shooter. There is absolutely no reason for PC to even consider a Call of Duty. The player base is very small and only peaks about 5,000 players first week or of every yearly release. There were only two good Call of Duty games over the years, COD 4 and Black Ops 2, and everything else was really badly optimized. There is something to be said about the PC versions. If you put a hardware optimization aside, which requires an effort from the developer to do it on PC, and one can say they're not doing it because it's not even worth it due to a small player base. All PC versions are they have limited field of view, which causes uncomfort if you're playing from a close range like a monitor. Capped FPS for no reason, even the hardware can do better. And lastly, the unavoidable mouse acceleration on most of the Call of Duties, which most of the community thinks it is intentional slap in the face. And yeah, enough about that. Call of Duty basically is great on a console and always garbage on PC. Battlefield series has been favorite PC game series for many years, and due to supreme graphics, action, reality, and a good hardware optimization. Console versions are very adequate and well optimized as well, with small downsides. Console controls have changed with the release of Battlefield 4, increasing the aim assist, which allows to be more accurate when you constantly aim down sight, which can be a game-breaking experience for some, me for example. The aim assist carry over for even to a Battlefield 1, and even aiming tricks are not as popular. It's still a thing to be considered as a downside for the console version. So nothing new. It's been known for a while. Console players favor COD and PC counterparts favor Battlefield. Overwatch is the new big platform shooter with MOBA elements, and it drew a huge player base from any other shooter, including CS itself, and it constantly increased in popularity. It has a big competitive side without alienating the casuals, and being a Blizzard title, it's no surprise it's very well optimized on PC. Its console version is flawless as well. In my opinion, if Overwatch is the game you want to play, either platform is a great choice. PC version's gameplay has a bit of more of a depth due to the control of the game with mouse and keyboard, and will remain the main competitive platform, where the console one is a little bit more casual, but it's still good. Yeah, in my opinion, shooter games are the most deciding factor of choosing a platform for multiplayer gaming. If you don't care much about FPS games, then you can have very similar gaming experience with the rest of the gaming genre, as they mostly multi-platform and fairly optimized on either platform, obviously. There is another big thing to take into account choosing a platform, is that PC gained a lot of popularity recently after a long console domination last generation. This will result better than ever future optimization for PC platform. Console manufacturer eased up on locking up console exclusive games, and there has been some rumors about future gen releases, which makes console future a little bit uncertain. This is something to think about and research for yourself if you should choose to invest in a console platform as your only choice. Comfort is a huge factor in the decision of platform of choice. Where PC mostly has to be played sitting upright for a proper access of mouse and keyboard, console can be entirely played of comfort of your couch in front of a TV. The argument is that the PC also can be played like that, even though rarely people set it up this way. This is only valid for single-player games where a controller It's not matched up against a mouse and keyboard opponent online. Obviously, you'll be destroyed that way. Where for a better or worse, all console gamers play on an even play field. This isn't a big factor for many, but still can sway you out of choosing a PC platform. I personally grew up as a PC gamer. However, nowadays, sitting in front of a PC desktop for more than a couple hours, it's not very pleasant due to lower back injuries I have personally. I can't even begin to comprehend how that will affect people with disabilities. But my assumption is console platform has more to offer in this situation. Console platform has been my second choice for gaming for a number of years, where I can even fall asleep on my couch while playing games on my controller, showing its great comfort and casual nature. After all, gaming is mostly about fun and not only being competitive. As a final point, PC gaming requires more setup time, which can be a downside on itself. If you don't have the time for research how to build a PC, you can obviously buy it pre-built, after which each game most likely will require a certain time to properly optimize its performance and controls. A console, on the other hand, it's a plug and play with very little setup time required. PC can be a nice project or just a big of a hassle, depends how you see it. As a recap, the biggest choosing factors are where your friends are, which games you intend to play the most, or even if you have time to invest in that project called PC gaming. After all, be honest to yourself, which makes more sense in your particular case, and don't buy into that PC master race argument. You're not impressing anyone. And that's all from me, and choose wisely, my friends. Bye now.